Hi, I'm Lauren from WWF and I love recycling. Alright, yeah, it is part of my job, but I'm also really passionate about waste. Recycling. It's so important, but also mega confusing. Well, worry not, we have put together a very simple guide that's going to make recycling so much easier. It comes in 3 steps. Step 1, check with your local council. Step 2, know your labels. And step 3, don't contaminate. So let's start with step 1. First, you need to know what can and what can't go in your recycling bins at home. In most places, you can recycle cardboard, aluminium, and some plastics, but you need to make sure you're putting the right stuff in the right bins. Don't just trust the packets either, because symbols can be really misleading. For example, a packet may say that you can recycle it, but that doesn't mean that you can recycle it where you live. So always check with your local council or use the Recycle Now website. Links can be found in the description box below. Also, when an item that's non-recyclable goes in your recycling, it becomes contamination. But we'll talk more about that in step 3. So, step 2, know your labels. This is the recycling logo. You can find it on any item that can be recycled, like aluminium, cardboard, plastic, glass, all sorts. But beware the green dot. This is not the recycling logo. What this green dot actually means is that the producer of that item has made a financial contribution towards recycling and recovery in Europe. Not that that item can be recycled. So always look for the recycling logo first. Also, it's not always green. Paper and card, pretty easy to recycle. Just make sure that you remove unrecyclable parts, like tape. Also, check for hidden plastics. So for example, this donut packet looks like paper, but inside is a plastic lining which makes it unrecyclable. Cartons and Tetra Paks like juice, milk, ice cream cartons are also very tricky. It says on the packet, widely recycled, but not many places do recycle them because they're made from plastic, aluminium and cardboard, making them very difficult to separate and recycle. Always check where you can recycle them in your local area. Plastics, also very confusing. That's because there's 7 different types of plastic. Look for the recycling logo. Inside the triangle will be a number or a code. That'll tell you what type of plastic that item is made from. You can then use that information to look on your recycling guide to see if you can recycle that type of plastic where you live. For example, this plastic bottle is a number 1 PET. And finally, biodegradable and compostable packaging. Neither of these things mean recyclable, so do not put them in your recycling bin. Compostable actually means industrial composting, which has a high percentage of organic matter and a really high heat to break down that item. Doesn't mean that you can put it on your home compost pile or in your food waste bin, unless your council specifically says so. Instead, look for the home compostable logo. These you can put on your compost pile and you might be able to put in your food bin. Again, check with your council. If in doubt, just leave it out. Don't put it in the recycling hoping for the best, because that causes contamination. Finally, step 3, contamination. Did you know that less than half of all plastic generated in Europe actually gets recycled? And this is because of high rates of contamination. This happens when you either put an unrecyclable item in your recycling bin, like food, or when you put something that's greasy and dirty in with your clean recycling and it all gets contaminated. You need to avoid this because contaminated items can go to landfill. So always make sure that your recycling is clean and dry. Also, if you can't clean it, then recycling facilities probably can't either. So for example, toothpaste tubes, lip gloss, moisturizers. So if in doubt, make sure that you leave it out. When it comes to be sorted, if there's too much contamination in your recycling, the entire collection may go to waste and end up in landfill. This is because the people processing your recycling have less than a second to pick out incorrect items from the rest of the collection, and it's easier and quicker just to send the lot to waste. I know it may seem like a hassle to clean and dry, sort and separate all of your recycling, but it is so worth it to reduce the environmental impact of rubbish and waste on our planet. So remember, if you're unsure of what to do with an item, look it up. And if you still don't know, then just put it in the rubbish bin. If in doubt, leave it out. Now that you're clued up on recycling, why not take it to the next level by joining our Recycling Challenge on the MyFootprint app. This is one of the many challenges you can join to help in the fight for your world. I hope you found this video enjoyable and useful. Please leave a comment below if there is a subject that you'd like us to simplify next. And also, don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a video. Thanks guys, bye!